Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about how people can easily find your cell phone number online. I know that you have probably been getting a lot of spam call and text messages in the past few months, and that's not by coincidence. Cyber criminals have figured out ways in order to get access to your cell phone records, and the results may surprise you as where criminals are getting your personal information. Yes, a lot of it comes from the web and from large scale data breaches. But there are some websites that you can probably take control of to make sure that they don't hand out your personal information. So, with that said, let's take a look at some of the ways that cyber criminals are getting access to your cell phone. And if you're feeling a little curious and have a little bit of spy master in you, how you could easily find someone's cell phone number online. Let's take a look. So, the first place is going to be social media. Social media yields a lot of information, and it's no should be no surprise that your social media sites are actually giving your cell phone number out. And the problem is that you are probably the one that's giving out that cell phone information on social media. The problem is if you look at any social media account, we'll look at my Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram accounts. And if we go to edit profile, one of the ways, and I'm not going to show it because my number is on these sites, but one of the ways that criminals will find that information is that you, on your personal profile, have listed that number to be public. Now, on Facebook, there is a way that you can actually go in to about and then go into your settings and edit it. Now, I'll show you where about is, but not going to share my cell phone number just yet. But anyway, yeah, if you click on about, then it'll give you an option there when you go into about where you can choose if your cell phone is public or private. Now, the same thing with LinkedIn. If you go into LinkedIn and you go to edit your profile, there's definitely a way to go in and, well, actually, it's contact information. You can go in and actually change your contact information. Now, LinkedIn, I can click on because it basically gives out our work number for Integral. But you might want to check in this section here because it could be your personal phone number. And it's just a simple matter of going to edit and changing all of that information. See where it says phone? Go in and change that and put your business number if you have one, or think of some dummy account like Google Voice or some other online account number that you want to give out to the general public. But the scary thing about your social media accounts is that if you do a Google search, Google's able to crawl your social media pages to ensure that they find information that's listed on social media accounts. So if you use your cell phone number for business, that would be another way that cyber criminals could find your information. Or if you're using your cell phone for your social or for your business and you listed it on your social media accounts, definitely criminals can get a hold of that information. So it's probably safe to make sure that you put some dummy number on there so that criminals can't find that information. Now, our next step, as far as where criminals can find your information, is through reverse lookup sites. Now, these are sites where people find phone numbers and they can actually attribute them to you. And reverse lookup sites don't sound like they would be that much of a threat, but in all actuality, they are. So, how does a reverse lookup website work? Well, there's several out there, and one of the most popular ones is called Spy Dialer, which I've pulled up. You'll hear in a second. There we go. So there's Spy Dialer, and what you do is you type in a phone number. So reverse lookup normally worked in the old caller ID days that someone called you, they didn't leave a message, and you wanted to be able to do a reverse lookup to find out who actually called you on that number. But now, because of the power of the internet, you can not do a star 69 on someone or star 67. I always forget which one it is, but you can go to Spy Dialer and actually type in a phone number and it'll tell you who it belongs to. Now, some of the challenges with these sites is that they actually collect, as they say, billions of phone numbers, and you have one way or one resource that you can go to find these numbers. Now, these numbers normally come from large scale data breaches, but again, sometimes that information is shared by companies that collect your data. So when you fill out those forms online, they know which category goes where. So obviously, name is self explanatory, address, but phone number, if you list your mobile number as your mobile number, then obviously it's going to fall in the category of your cell phone. So be careful where you share that information because it definitely is going to wind up on one of these reverse lookup sites where people can actually find your personal information. And don't think that they won't because they will. Now, another reverse lookup site is a very sneaky one. And if you own a business or have a website, you should know what this site is because it's pretty important. It's a site called Who Is. Now, Who Is allows you to find out who owns an actual website, but the reverse side of the Who is that under normal circumstances, when you list your information as an owner of a website, you list all of your contact details. So if there is a discrepancy with your website, someone can look you up on Who Is, find all of your contact information, including your cell phone number. And that's the sneaky part of what cyber criminals are doing. If you own a company or corporation, or you're in control of a website, your cell phone is probably going to be listed. And don't think that cyber criminals aren't going to use that information in order to find out your cell phone. And of course, if you're the spying type, you could also, if you wanted to get access to somebody, you could go to Who Is, type in their website, and it'll actually find the owner. It works especially good for small business owners. So consider that. Not saying that you should, like the reverse lookup site, but of but you definitely should think twice before you do it. So, like Spy Dollar says, it's sneaky, but it is legal. And the challenge is most of these sites, even if you're not using Spy Dialer or Who Is, these sites are free and readily available to just about anyone out there. Now, our third method, as far as how you can find any cell phone number on the internet, that is by our favorite relative, and that's Uncle Google. Google allows you to get access to just about any information that is on the web. Now, as far as finding cell phone numbers, there's kind of a little trick on how that works. Now, if you go to Uncle Google, which I will pull up here in just a second, and do a search by cell phone number and the person's name, it's a good chance that if that person's information is on the website and they have their cell phone listed, you could easily find their information. So um, just type in cell phone and type in John Jones, and it will probably pull their information, spelled their name wrong. So let's do that and see what we get. Get a lot of stuff, but if you put an area code in your Google search, it's definitely going to get you a little bit closer to finding out that person's cell phone number that you want to have access to. But criminals do this too once they get a hold of your information. Remember what I was telling you about social media? Well, in today's day and age, as far as using Google, it's probably because of Google, it's probably a good idea that you mask your username when you're using social media accounts. But if you want your personal name up there, it's easy for people snoopers, because snoopers are going to snoop, right? And it's easy for just nosy people to just do a Google search on you put in cell phone number and find your cell phone. So my word of advice, if you want to prevent people from finding your cell phone number, is to make sure that you don't share with anyone except personal friends and family members to ensure that your cell phone number isn't going to wind up on one of these sites. Now, finally, and I think we've touched upon this before, but your biggest enemy is probably people search sites. Now, people search sites are almost the opposite of reverse lookup sites, where there are sites that are designed to collect your personal data and share it on the web. Some of this information is readily available. Others, you do have to pay a small fee and deal with a lot of advertisements in order to get access to that information. Now, one of the trickier websites out there, because people are into genealogy, is a website called Family Tree Now. Family Tree Now allows you to search records for people that you're doing genealogy research on, but it goes a little bit too far because not only does it go above and beyond your family tree maker or ancestry software by giving out maybe your birth and marriage records? It will also give out your personal information because Family Tree Now is really a people search site where they've just collected a lot of data. They've rebranded themselves so that people will go to them, pay them money, or you have to put up with some sort of advertisement, which obviously they're charging for people to put on their site, and you're using this. I blocked this ad, but many more will pop up as you do your search on this Family Tree Now website. So beware, or it could be a good resource for you to find a lost loved one. Another site that you have to deal with is TruthFinder, and I think most of you have dealt with TruthFinder at some point or another. But if we take a look at TruthFinder, just go to truthfinder.com, detailed public records. And of course, they're very popular because they've been listed everywhere. Doesn't necessarily mean that's a good thing, but Truth Finder is one of those people finder sites where you can do a search for someone and find out all sorts of information. So if your cell phone has been listed somewhere in the public, I guarantee if someone uses a people search site that they're going to find your personal information, including your cell phone number, and maybe reach out and connect with you. But if it's a cyber criminal or someone um, doing bad things, and obviously they're going to find you. So the key strategy to avoid sites like TruthFinder, again, watch out where you share your cell phone so people aren't getting access to your phone number. So with that said, so if you have comments or questions, or uh, leave them in the comment section below. Would love to hear what your thoughts are about people looking up your cell phone on the internet, and how accessible do you want your cell phone to be on the internet? I'd love to get the discussion going on about that, because you can tell I'm a little leery about it because I was one click away from sharing my cell phone with all of you, and I chose not to do it. So I don't get any bad messages as far as text or phone calls because I don't share my cell phone number, only with those that absolutely need it. And before I go on, make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Burton Kelso, or my company YouTube channel at Integral. There's the logo right there. So be sure to like and subscribe if you like this video. I think I'm going to have to find a better graphic there, one that's a little bit more interactive and jumps out a little bit more. So with that said, I love technology. I've read all the manuals and I'm serious about making technology fun and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.